Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Small reminder, you're stepping into the dangerous world of Shadows of the Knot, a dark Mafia Omegaverse story filled with tension, fated mates, and raw desire. After the chaos at the docks in Chapter 2, Viktor Draven and Kai Voss have returned to the penthouse, but the night is far from over. Kai's bold defiance may have saved his alpha's life, but it has also pushed Viktor to his limit. The crew is already whispering, the tension is boiling over. And now, behind closed doors, the cold Mafia boss is ready to teach his rebellious bodyguard exactly what happens when you disobey him. Get comfortable, relax, and prepare yourself. This is Chapter 3, The Price of Defiance. Let's begin. The armored SUV pulled into the private underground garage of the penthouse tower, tires screeching against concrete. The moment the vehicle stopped, two of Vic's senior alphas, Marcus and a broad-shouldered man named Rebellious, were already waiting. Marcus opened the back door immediately. His eyes flicked from Vic's blood-stained shirt to Kai's grazed arm and the obvious tension rolling off both of them. "Boss," Marcus said, voice tight with concern. "We heard what happened at the docks. Volkovs are getting bolder. You both all right?" Vic stepped out first, his movements sharp and controlled. "We're alive. That's enough for now." Rebellious offered Kai a hand to help him out, but Kai ignored it and slid out on his own, wincing slightly as the graze on his forearm pulled. Rebellious raised an eyebrow, clearly surprised by the defiance. "New guy's got guts," Rebellious muttered, glancing at Marcus. "Tackling the boss during a shootout. Most men wouldn't dare. Hell, I heard you disobeyed a direct order out there." Kai wiped the blood from his arm with his sleeve and shot Rebellious a sharp look. "If I hadn't, your boss would have a bullet in his skull right now. You're welcome." Marcus let out a low whistle, crossing his arms. Bold, real bold. The whole crew's already talking about it downstairs. Some are saying Draven's finally found someone who isn't scared of him. He looked at Vic with a half-grin. Others are betting how long it'll take before the new bodyguard loses a few teeth. Vic's ice-blue eyes narrowed dangerously. The air around him grew heavier with alpha dominance. Enough. Both Marcus and Rebellious straightened instantly, the teasing vanishing from their faces. "Get the doctor on standby," Vic ordered, voice cold and final. "And clear the penthouse. No one comes up unless I call for them." Marcus nodded quickly. "Already done, boss." He glanced once more at Kai, a mix of amusement and warning in his eyes. "Good luck, Voss. You're gonna need it." As Marcus and Rebellious turned to leave, Rebellious muttered under his breath, just loud enough for Kai to hear. "Try not to bleed on the carpets, kid." The elevator doors closed behind the two men, leaving Vic and Kai alone in the silent garage. The tension that had been simmering since the docks now crackled like electricity between them. Vic turned slowly, his gaze locking onto Kai with predatory intensity. The cold mask was fully in place, but beneath it burned something far more dangerous, a mix of fury, adrenaline, and raw possessiveness. "Inside," Vic commanded, voice low and rough. "Now." Kai lifted his chin, green eyes still flashing with defiance, even as his pulse raced. "Whatever you say, boss." They stepped into the private elevator. The moment the doors slid shut, sealing them in together, the air became thick and heavy. Vic moved without warning, his hand shot out, fingers wrapping around the back of Kai's neck in a firm, unyielding grip. He shoved Kai forward, slamming him chest first against the cool mirrored wall of the elevator. The impact wasn't hard enough to bruise, but it was deliberate enough to remind Kai exactly who held the power here. "You disobeyed me." Vic growled low against Kai's ear, his taller frame pressing in from behind, caging him completely. One of Vic's knees nudged between Kai's legs, forcing them slightly apart. "I gave you a direct order on the docks. Stay behind me. Do not engage." Kai's breath hitched, palms flat against the mirror. His heart hammered wildly, the faded pull surging like wildfire under his skin, despite the suppressants. Vik's body heat radiated through their clothes, solid, unyielding, alpha strength. The scent-neutralizing patches on Kai's chest suddenly felt too tight, too insufficient. "I kept you alive," Kai shot back, voice rough but defiant. He tried to push back, but Vik's weight pinned him harder. One large hand sliding down to grip Kai's hip, holding him immobile. "That Volkov sniper would have painted the warehouse with your brains if I'd listened to your stupid." Vik's free hand came up, fingers threading into Kai's damp auburn hair and tugging his head back just enough to expose the side of his throat. Not a bite. Not yet. Just the threat of one. Lips brushing dangerously close to that vulnerable skin as Vik spoke. Voice a dark rumble that vibrated through both of them. "Alive doesn't mean useful if you can't follow orders. In my world, defiance gets people killed. Or broken." His thumb stroked once along Kai's hip bone, slow and possessive, the touch light but loaded with intent. "So now you learn the price." Kai swallowed hard, a shiver racing down his spine that had nothing to do with fear. The proximity was suffocating in the best-worst way. Vik's broad chest against his back, the hard line of muscle pressing him into the mirror, their reflections staring back with flushed skin and locked eyes. Heat pooled low in Kai's belly, traitorous and unwelcome. His suppressants were straining harder than ever after the adrenaline of the dogfight. One wrong move, and the mask could crack. "You gonna punish me, boss?" Kai's tone dripped with sarcasm, but it came out breathier than he intended. "Gonna tie me up and lecture me? Or are you just getting off on having me like this?" Vik's laugh was soft, dangerous, and far too close to Kai's ear. "Careful. That mouth of yours is going to get you in deeper trouble." He shifted his weight, letting Kai feel the full press of his body, the undeniable evidence of how the chase, the fight, and this defiant Omega in disguise were affecting him. Not a full rut. Not yet. But the fated bond was whispering, pushing. "You're going to stand here exactly like this, until I say otherwise. No moving. No talking back. You feel every second of what your disobedience costs." For long, charged minutes, Vik simply held him there. The elevator had long since reached the penthouse level and opened, but neither moved. Vik's hand stayed tangled in Kai's hair, the other mapping slow. Deliberate circles on his hip, light spice, teasing the edge of control without crossing into something irreversible. Every breath Kai took pressed him tighter against Vik's chest. Every small shift earned a warning squeeze or a low growl that sent sparks racing across. Kai's nerves, Kai's mind screamed to fight, to push away, to keep the walls up. But his body recognized the alpha behind him on a level that suppressants couldn't fully bury. The rare Omega blood in his veins thrummed, wanting to submit even as his rebellious spirit raged against it. "You're shaking," Vik murmured after a while, lips brushing the shell of Kai's ear. "Not from fear." "Interesting." "Fuck you," Kai whispered. But there was no real heat in it, only strained tension, and the first cracks in his armor. Vik finally stepped back, but only far enough to spin Kai around and pin him face to face against the wall instead. Their foreheads nearly touched, blue eyes boring into green with predatory focus. Vik's hand came up to cup Kai's jaw, thumb tracing his lower lip with deliberate slowness. "Next time you put yourself between me and a bullet without permission," Vik said softly. "I won't be so gentle with the lesson, understand?" Kai's tongue darted out, accidentally brushing Vik's thumb. The contact sent electricity crackling between them. He nodded once, jaw tight, but his eyes still burned with defiance. "Understood." Vik held him there a moment longer, the air thick with unspoken want and the heavy promise of more. Then he released him, stepping away, as if it cost him nothing. "Clean up. We have work tonight." "And Kai." Vik paused at the entrance to the main room, glancing back with a cold, knowing smile. "Don't test me again so soon. The next punishment won't end with just proximity." Kai stayed pressed against the wall long after Vik disappeared down the hall. Chest heaving, skin tingling where the alpha had touched him. His suppressants were definitely failing, and the fated bond was only getting stronger. And that's the end of Chapter 3. The punishment is over, but the fire between them has only just been ignited. Viktor has made his dominance clear, and Kai's carefully built walls are starting to crack. In Chapter 4, Velvet and Venom, Kai is sent to work at the Syndicate's exclusive nightclub, while Viktor entertains a beautiful woman in the VIP section. Jealousy begins to burn inside Kai, and his suppressants start to fail under the pressure. How long can Kai hide his true nature, when the fated bond keeps pulling him toward the one man he's trying to resist? If you're enjoying the story, please drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Turn on notifications. The heat is only rising. See you in the next episode.